If I'm here and you're here, then that means something special is happening. That's right. Welcome to Tulsa Welding School Dallas Edition. That's right. Tulsa Welding School has just opened up its brand new campus here in Texas, here in Dallas. 15 minutes off of 183 from DFW Airport and 15 minutes from downtown Dallas. My name is James Cooper and I'm going to take you on a tour today to show you how great this campus is and show you where you should be when we're finally open. Please, come follow me.
I mean, I was just a kid, kind of doing, dumb stuff that kids always do. I was just trying to figure out who I was.
I'm from Mississippi, small town. My mom, she's a single mom, so she raised me.
I lived in the middle of nowhere, and really nothing else to do but be outside and bang on metal and play with fire and any kind of crazy stuff that kids can do in the middle of nowhere.
I graduated high school early. I was just working like a dead-end job, really. I mean, I was just serving at a restaurant, going out to bars a little too often. And
I don't know, school it felt very repetitive for me. Like, kept learning the same thing every year. And I was like, I'm done. I think I finished, 8th grade was like the last grade that I did. And I went to military school when I was 16.
I hated sitting in a classroom. It was terrible. I saw no point in it. I don't need to know any of this stuff. I'm better than all this.
The only things I would really do in high school was art, my welding class, and sports. I really didn't care about what I did with my work or anything. A lot of times I would just stuff it in my backpack and say, forget it, because I didn't believe I was going to go anywhere. I wasn't sure of where I was going with my life and my career and stuff like that.
Before graduating high school, leading up to graduating high school, we had that, there's always that sense of being lost, kind of, what do we do? Scared, like, all our parents work so hard in their lives to take such good care of us. Now, how do we kind of get our foot in the door to live that life, in a sense? Where do we even start? You don't know where to start.
I was really trying to figure out what I really wanted to do in my life. I did work as a cashier at a truck stop. I did work as a regular maintenance technician at hotels and some apartment complexes.
I used to be a manager at a car wash, and I've always had good hands-on experience, a lot of maintenance at a car wash, but it just wasn't very fulfilling to me.
I kind of played around, in the beginning of my early 20s, and eventually I fell into a job at a smaller restaurant. So I thought that would be the direction I went in. And as much fun as it is to work in the culinary industry and have a wild life and have your nights and do crazy stuff, it doesn't pay very well.
And at that time, too, everybody was getting laid off. It's like every job that I would go to, I just kept getting laid off. And finally I was like, all right, I got to support my family.
I got this job, like this manufacturer job, and one day my supervisor came to me and said, "You're a good worker. What do you think about welding?" And I always look over at the welders and stuff like that, and I actually was amazed at, the way they weld and stuff, the way they make things and put it together. So I was like, you know what, I might try it.
And my dad had called me and asked, he said, well, what are your plans and what are you gonna do? And I laughed at him and I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna do something though. And he's like, well, why don't you go to welding school? That's whenever I started watching welding videos and stuff like that, and the molten metal is really cool to me. That's what made me want to be a welder.
I had to figure something else out, and I was in the process of figuring that out when one of my coolers broke down. And here comes this technician who's come to fix my implement. Cool as a cucumber, comes in, checks the gauges, looks at the pressure, disconnects his stuff, says, hey, you're done, you're good to go. And I realized kind of at that moment, that guy just made more than I'm gonna make for the whole shift.
Well, I really just heard about Tulsa Welding School as a commercial, and then I lived right down the street from it, so I would pass it all the time.
Saw the commercial and I realized kind of want to get a leg up against the competition.
It just seemed like a good decision. It just seemed like it kind of the whole idea of it fell into place at such a good time. I couldn't really shake the thought of that being a good thing.
We set the appointment up the following day, and I went and I signed it. I was approved to start enrolling in the classes, and it was full force from there. Never looked back.
You go out in the shop and they show you each row and what the welders look like and stuff. And it's just the fact of seeing those welding machines that see all the sparks, and I knew I was going to be able to get my hands on one of those, and I was just really excited, and I was like, okay, I'm going for this.
I really need to do something that I'm passionate about and that I really want to finish. And that's when I was like, you know what, I'm going to go be a welder. And then finding Tulsa Welding, I actually saw their commercial, and I was like, gosh, I really want to do this. And the rest was just history.
I chose Tulsa Welding School because it was only 7 months, and I knew I wasn't going to go to another 4 years of school when I graduated. And I kind of like the idea that it's 4 days hands-on training and just 1 day of book work. So, and I'm a hands-on learning kind of guy, so I knew that would work out pretty good for me.
I really enjoyed it. It was slow paced, but it was fast paced.
My 7 months at Tulsa Welding School went by very quickly.
That's probably the fastest I ever believed of going through any school.
I didn't know nothing about HVAC. When I came here in Tulsa, I was just open-minded, was just trying to help people.
And just to learn the basics and figure out that those guys you see that do really good work, they practiced a lot.
Yeah, my instructors, man, they real cool, man. Those guys really love welding. They real passionate guys out there. They've been welding all their life. And I can relate to what they feel about welding, because as a welder says, I just love to burn. I just love the smell of it. When you wake up in the morning, you just get ready to burn, So that I can relate to those guys.
If you're gonna teach a subject, you should know about it, Thankfully the welders here, they know what they're doing, and they take the time stopping in each booth when I was here, You don't even realize they're there until they say something. Come in, they're checking on you. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're doing it well, they might show you a little trick to do it a little bit better. They dip your hand in just about everything that's going on. And if there's something that's not going on, the instructors, they know about that process. You just gotta ask them.
They're all awesome. They're all really well educated. They're really experienced. They know how to say what you need to hear.
I'm more hands-on, visual learner, person that's gonna throw me in the fire, the teacher's gonna throw me in the fire and do that, and that's why I came to Tulsa and I was like, I can do it.
It's just, they were really hands-on to teaching you and explaining things to you, but they were also willing to show you how pieces of components would work. And not only showing you, but they would also demonstrate, because it would be hooked up live, also how it would work internally. So they would have like actual toggle switches and knobs, like, okay, this is when your compressor kicks on, this is how it looks, and it will show it cycling and spinning internally.
The instructors of Tulsa Welding School are really great. They, you just have to be able to go to them and ask them questions about anything that's wrong with your welds. Like, they'll tell you almost immediately what's wrong with it, and there'd be no time at all that you get it fixed.
It was really, I don't know, it was a really good environment. All the instructors were really easy to get along with and stuff, but just the amount of support you had from the other students and from the instructors, like, it, I don't know, it made it seem a lot less intense,
I like the school because the more you put yourself into it, the more you try to get out of it, the more you will.
Single position you can think of. There's going to be a welding test for a company, I know Tulsa Welding School is going to train me for the exact same test that they're going to give me. They prepare you for your career.
I've always been a hands-on person. I feel like I'm a hands-on learner, and so the hands-on is what helped me through school. And there was a little bit of like classroom time with like homework and stuff, but like the hands-on, I knew it was only 4 days of hands-on, 1 day of classroom, because I could not sit in a classroom for 5 days a week.
They weren't making it so hard for nobody at all. It was just you had to listen to them. You have to be committed, you have to be consistent. Focus on your end goal.
They cut out all the filler. There's nothing that you take in a Tulsa curriculum that you're not actively using to help improve your career. It was so much more streamlined and so much more focused on getting you out and on to the next phase of your life, which was great.
My favorite experience about Tulsa Welding School was when we started learning how to use a torch. Like, welding was fun, but using a torch and playing with fire was even funner. Like, learning how to cut different angles and even to be able to see how the molten metal builds up. I mean, it was just really cool. So that's probably my favorite.
Best part going to Tulsa Welding School was being with the students and the instructors. It really makes it like a family, a welding family. Everybody's helping each other out. I don't believe that I could have done it without the people that I was at school with.
Like, when you go there, you don't meet a stranger. You meet a friend that you haven't seen in a long time.
And I have some relationships there that I'll probably have for, the rest of my life.
My favorite part was just being there, man. Experiencing just everybody, the love for welding. And that's one thing about us as students. We kind of come together as a team and help each other learn. Everybody helped everybody.
I had no idea that I was gonna love it like I did. I just seen it and I was like, whoa, this stuck with me.
Now, when you look beyond coming out of Tulsa Welding School, it's just, you just see all these jobs and you're like, oh man, I can work my way up to that job. I can work my way up to anything I want to be now because I have a set path. And you just stick with the student services and they'll help you get anywhere you need.
Tulsa Welding School's departments, as a whole, are extremely helpful. Career service, the ladies up there are amazing. Probably would never ever have a hard time, finding a job because of the job that they do up there at the career services.
So I graduated from Tulsa Welding School, and then after I graduated, I went to a job fair that they had at the school. It was $18 an hour and across the country. And I went home and told my husband about it, and he said, let's go. And 2 weeks later, I was here at W Welding.
Welding can be very rewarding, because you can build a lot of things and you can look back on it and say, hey, I built that, with my skills. You can travel anywhere you want to. You can build anything you want to, because everything in this world is, is welded up. You can take your truck and go in any direction and guarantee to find a welding job anywhere you go.
It is a career that's going to take me places. It already has. It's made me able to walk into any room with my head held high and know that I have the ability to get this job done.
This career has changed my life, and it also has now made an impact in my future. Now I don't have to worry about where am I gonna get the last meal to feed my family, where am I gonna get the last job, where am I gonna get the last break to try to make ends meet. And so this career has prepared me
to know that, you know what, I will have job security and I will be stable in a job for the rest of my life.
There's always going to be a need for HVAC technicians. Air conditioning is always in need. Good air conditioning techs are in a greater need.
I mean, in a 5-year span, I've completely changed, you know, my life. My family's outcome has gone up, or income has gone up, you know, exponentially, I feel like. I mean, the school basically paid for itself, and I've never even thought about or regretted anything about it. It's been one of the best moves that I've made.
The financial opportunities for welders are fantastic. It's a great career. You want to make a good living, you enjoy traveling as much as you do, become a welder. Get into welding, get into construction. There's always going to be welding work to be done. As long as they're building or fixing, there's going to be welders.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you. People don't see it, but the welders are real important in the world, man. I'm telling you. I recommend it to anybody, man. You can be that welder. That's what makes it for me. This is just the start of my empire, so.
Within the United States, over the next 4 years, we will be anywhere from 370 to 500,000 welders short. So the needs for welders with W International specifically, we will grow at a rate of anywhere from 15 to 45 welders per month.
I think based on the fact that there is such a shortage in skilled labor in this industry, I think that anybody who pursues a career in welding or ship fitting could see a very great way to make a very good living.
Tulsa Welding School has been an incredible resource for us. They come ready with the skills to have an exciting, lucrative career in the HVAC industry. They can literally hit the ground running in a truck on their own, making a great living the second they walk out that door.
We have a great relationship with Tulsa Welding School. Anytime we have a high demand for or a need for the employees, we always reach out to Tulsa. We're attracted to TWS because of who they are. Me being a graduate, knowing what they put their graduates through and the standard that they hold their students to is what attracts us. You know, they come in at entry level and really if they apply themselves, then the sky's the limit for them.
What I've been probably most impressed with the candidates and the people that we've hired from Tulsa Welding School has been their character. And I really would like to emphasize that they have been good people that we could trust very quickly. And they're just solid, steady, salt of the earth, people that get the job done, that are serious about what they do.
What you can learn in 7 months is something that the same person that just jumps into welding and doesn't take that opportunity, I think would probably eventually learn, but that 7 months is going to be learned over the next 10 years. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty important, and I think it's valuable to people that can and that are able to get into, you know, that type of program. I think that's very beneficial.
A good knowledge base and technical foundation is a great bedrock for a fantastic career in HVAC. This career is ever expanding, and people with technical skills and soft skills being able to interact with customers are going to become more and more valuable as the years go on.
I think what attracts BAE Systems to the candidates from Tulsa Welding School is the basic skill set that they're taught, anywhere from the basic safety rules and regulations that they're exposed to just their strong commitment to a curriculum that coincides with what our needs are here at the shipyard.
For a minimal investment and a few short months of your life, you can have an exciting career in the HVAC industry that you can take with you anywhere.
Well, welding is certainly our core competency here, or one of our core competencies here, so bringing in the right talent is, you know, probably of the utmost importance. It's probably the most important critical thing as we want to create the most quality product that we possibly can.
Right now we have a large need for welders. We do a lot of freehand welding, thin-walled stainless steel, but Tulsa Welding School was the true welding school that welders were coming out of that were graduating that Chart was looking to employ.
You know, and what we've experienced from the welders that come from Tulsa, they've got the right foundation to start a career in welding and come into Chart and be able to build upon that.
Chart came to Tulsa Welding School. They called me in the office, asked me if I'd like to take a weld test for them. I said absolutely. I took a weld test. They called me a week later and they offered me the job. It felt so amazing. I was happy. I was on cloud 9 for about 4 days.
I was very impressed that with the schooling, they were able to, pick me up as soon as I get out of schooling and, start running on my own as soon as possible. I naturally expected maybe a delay, month or two or so, but it was not even before I graduated and I got a job here, and I'm very happy with that. And it's always nice to see more Tulsa welding graduates come by here because they already have, as mentioned earlier, a nice foundation of how air conditioning and the low voltage electrical, how it all works.
Once I knew I was able to graduate from Tulsa Welding School, I know I was able to apply that knowledge I have to jump into a job market where I could actually get a good paying income so I could provide for my family.
Right now I'm working for a small shop, local here, that all welding shop, welding fabrication. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to work in an office, but when we work, we put some classic rock on or something and jam as loud as we can and go to work. As long as everyone has their job to do, we don't take anything too seriously. As long as we have fun doing it and no one gets hurt, it's the ultimate goal. It can be a lot of fun. Come Friday, someone hands you a check with a bunch of money or something. Like, yeah, I just welded and he gave me some money for it. It's not bad.
I don't have no problem with paying my bills, and that's less stress on me. Go in, get it done, finish, and then it will unlock unlimited things for you.
Being able to strap into a harness and climb on top of a tank and a boom lift and stuff, and actually 30 feet up in the air, you're welding on things that 6 months ago you never would have thought about and stuff. I mean, it's just a point of pride knowing, hey, that right there, that's my weld. That will stand the test of time.
I know that I'm on the right path, and I'm happy with Tulsa Welding School and, the skills that they have prepared me with and, the career choice that I've made, and being able to work with my hands and be able to spring out of the bed in the morning to be able to do what I love to do now.
Every day I wake up is a good day if I can weld. It's a feeling that you got to feel, man. Whenever you running that bead, it's cool, man. You're a whole nother person. It's like putting on the mask, you feel like a superhero, you know what I'm saying? So,
and honestly too, I mean, I hear it all the time, like working in air conditioning is literally like almost being like a superhero, almost, and I hear it all the time from the customers too. You guys are lifesavers, you're lifesavers, you're lifesavers, definitely, I don't know, people say that a lot, you're a lifesaver.
Most people can't deny they feel a little cooler when they got their hood on and they're welding and people walk by and look at them,
Whenever you drop that hood, it's time to go.
I get to work with hot molten metal and fire, and I love it.
It's cool. I love all of that. I love the action in the shop. I love the atmosphere in the shop. I love that it's loud. I love that it's dirty. It's fun. It's not boring at all.
There's not enough praise that I can kind of heap on what Tulsa does to prepare you as a tradesman to go into the industry. I mean, cooling is everything. They've got refrigeration all over the place. So just having the certification and the knowledge can be transformative to your life.
This career changed my life, bringing me more friends, bringing me a different personality, bringing me more money. Just having that just change every single day. I'm becoming a better person.
Important thing for me about all of this is that I get to live my dream on the daily. My first week here, my husband was like, how do you feel about everything? And I told him, it just feels like a dream every day. And he told me, it's because you're living your dream. And that's just so crazy because some people don't even do that. They sit behind a desk their whole life or miss the opportunity to take their dream. And I am 27 years old and I get to live my dream already. And for the rest of my life if I wanted to, you know? It's just, makes me really happy.
So where I'm at, you know, right now is the most exciting journey in my life that I've ever been. And I know there's greater things to come ahead.
I would not be where I am in my life and my career if it wasn't for Tulsa Welding School. It is the best decision I've ever made.
I just don't feel like I would have gotten or lived the lifestyle that I did without Tulsa Welding School. I would have never gotten into this industry. I would have never had the tools that I needed to succeed, and I'm just so grateful. If I can do it, you can do it too. And you'll enjoy it. And why not do something that you love? I mean, I think that's so important. If you are doing something that you love, then how can you consider it work?
I mean, I'm definitely proud of where I am today, especially the person. I mean, 15 years ago and then the person that I am now, it's night and day difference. So I'm really happy with the person that I am today, for sure.
Yeah, Tulsa Welding School has been a very important part of my life. They've got me where I needed to be.
My mom, she's proud of me, you know, and this is what she wanted for me, you know, to go out and seek, you know, my welding career.
And I strongly suggest to anybody who at any point in their life they're tired of living from check to check and want to honestly and strongly provide for their family, this is something you should definitely consider. The 7 months, man, it's worth it.